Warning, this podcast discusses conspiracy theories and critiques the pharmaceutical industry. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research and consult professionals before making health decisions. We also invest in cryptocurrency, which you have to be an absolute fucking retard to buy in. Make sure you're consulting a financial expert for more information on this.
Ooh wee!
In the cosmic dance, we feel the vibe. Energy flows, it's a universal tribe. Spirits igniting like stars in the night.
Can you
Cosmic and Cosmo,
fuck
we're
a ghost?
catching the light. Let's dive deeper into the unknown. It's different. Feel the groove of the show. Unraveling secrets. Come and let it flow.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, the na na na, the na na na. Ooh wee! Welcome to the Tuesday. We talking chaos magic, so we gotta be unpredictable. But is that possible? I don't know. We gonna find out. Let's get them on out here. Who we got tonight? We got Brad. I think Brad showed up tonight. I think Cosmo's here tonight. Is Cash or Corey or any of them? I don't know. We're gonna find out though. The energy's here, the vibe is here, some weird shit's gonna go on. We're gonna learn some stuff, we're gonna have some fun. Brad, you look extra fly for a white guy.
Thanks.
How you
Pretty
doing
cool.
tonight?
You know, if you stalk my my replies, you might see we have some things that may be cooking up. So right now I'm feeling really what do you want to say, vivacious, extra on top of the world. But also my microphone doesn't want to stay in the same position. It just wants to keep tweaking out. And
Chaos.
sadly, that reminds me. Unfortunately,
We're tweaking out.
our good friend Cashman, he right as the day was progressing, he told me he getting sick, he down, he out. Uh, he might be able to make his way on here later on, but I think he's cooked. And Bill Gates got him again. And
It's going around.
I was just gonna. There's like 6 different fucking things that are going around, and bird flu could be one of them. And
Everybody's down.
There's a
I've
lot.
only heard that like 3 people have caught the bird flu in America, but like that's a thing still. Like these fucking eggs are out of control, fam, and like I can't deal with it. Can't even. We used to throw these at people's houses, you know what I mean, because they were so cheap. And
Not
like,
anymore.
no, you ain't gonna catch me fucking wasting an egg. You kidding me? If that thing falls and
Sell that shit.
cracks on the floor, like I'm gonna fucking get as much of that yolk in my hand. We're gonna fry that bit. No, that's a fucking full $1 now. So
Yeah, rich kids are throwing eggs. We would have got our butt whipped if we threw eggs in this day and
no
age.
way, yeah.
We weren't rich kids. Did someone say eggs? Yes, we did. Cosmo, how you living tonight, dude? What's in the Cosmo life?
Whoa, stutter there. Oh, I'm good, man. Everything's good here. We're just trying to survive winter out in the middle of nowhere in Colorado. We're in the Black Forest,
Oh,
so we have more cows and stuff out here than people, which is great. I really enjoy it. And we've been running our RC cars. I got these crazy all-wheel drive RC cars that break every time we play with them, so it's more of like a hobby. I'm a mechanic now, fixing that every time. But it's fun. The dogs are freaking, they go nuts, and that's a good time. So I don't know, just hang out outside. I feel like if everybody did a little bit more outside time, we'd all be good. Take a walk, touch the earth, do whatever.
I concur.
Right?
If I get 3 minutes in a day, I'm gonna get barefoot in my yard at some point. Hot, cold, busy day, shift work, nights, overtime. I make it there. It matters.
It does. You feel different, guaranteed.
Hope Cash doesn't have the Fauci flu. Oh my goodness! I think my cousin-in-law just knocked that out. Everybody at work was like, if they laughed, they were coughing. I'm like, you can stay there, stay over there. My coworker was doing Lysol walls. Like when they'd get up and walk, she'd grab the Lysol and just Lysol walls, so us two were safe. There was a germ barrier.
I don't know if that actually helps. You know, like
Makes you feel better about it.
that. It makes me feel a lot better. I ain't gonna lie to you. Same with hand standing. People will tell you up and down like the science doesn't, prove anything, and I'm like, well, this alcohol smell on my hands does. So that's what I have to say about that.
I love the hand sanitizer.
Yo, Mundane Wizard, same. Yeah, Brad, like it's been -7 here, and every time it snows, it just sticks until like a week later, and then it starts to melt, and then it's a swamp. Like right now, it's a swamp. Everybody's get crazy muddy, and then that's a struggle.
Yeah, ours is.
But it's nice,
muddy as
sunshine.
hell.
Yeah.
We were -30 last week, and it was actually 49
-30?
degrees. Yeah, -30 last week, and
Alright.
it was
I'm not complaining.
49 today. So, like,
Yeah.
imagine
Heat wave.
almost 80-degree fucking temperature change in a week, and me being like out there today in shorts and a fucking tank top because it
So
was.
these are for you trying to like bear the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That's serious.
Like intense. Felt like it was a
It's
sun god making me like fucking frying me. It was crazy.
well, yeah.
He had a degree fucking sweat. That's crazy.
What's your elevation though? What elevation are you guys at?
I think I'm like 1,000 feet up,
Okay.
above sea level. Like I'm in the hills of Wisconsin. There's a hilly area. I don't know.
All right. I think we're at 11,000 feet.
Holy macaroni. Ask me what it was where I grew up at.
Sea level.
Yeah, where I grew up was -6 feet.
-6?
Yeah. and the Shane's the snowball stand was at sea level, and we were lower apparently.
Hey, I'm not a scientist. That's not good, man.
I'm at about 15. I think we're around 15, 20 feet where I live now.
Yeah.
Because pine trees don't grow until you get to 30. I think it's 30 or 40 until the pine trees grow, and that's like the high woods rednecks. And you see pine trees, you're getting out of bayou land, and you're getting over there into the redneck world, boy. I tell you what, now that thing gonna be run if it ain't run already. You know what I'm saying? You can tell by the trees. And the accent goes with it.
And the sweat. Yeah. No, I misspoke. It was 7,000 feet. We're not 11. 11 is crazy high. But still,
7,000.
It's higher than Denver. Yeah.
Cosmic
from Atlantis, yeah, boy.
I was probably kicking it with Thoth back in the day. Me and Cosmo both, you know.
Oh yeah.
I've been one of them blue skin creators, just popping in there to be like, "Yo, you can't see me, but I'm gonna tell you some shit," because Tia said they would cloak, hide the blue skin. I mean, if you believe in that kind of thing, I don't know.
Yo, watch His Dark Materials on HBO. All about that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good series. It's the dude that wrote the Golden Compass, kind of the rival of C.S. Lewis in that day, where like the characters have animal daemons or their spirits would live outside their body, and they have this relationship and stuff. It's really esoteric though.
With that book for like 3 years. Good book. The Golden Compass. They had like the Subtle Knife. I forgot what the last one was of the series, but as a kid, I kept seeing how they spelled demon, and I guess it's like a British fucking book, and they're like Damon or whatever. And dude, I was getting so pissed off at this repetitively, like just what the fuck is this Damon? Like, and I'm like,
such an American thing to be pissed about.
Dude, I was going back and forth in my head, like, how do I even pronounce this shit? And then like years later, the fucking movie comes out, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, you British motherfuckers. It all made sense.
America.
Oh, while he's in here, shout out to Stevie Crypto. This one's for him. He is the godfather of the soundboard. He's got like literally, I think, over 2,000 clips. I only started hosting spaces because Stevie was like, "Yo, do a space," and we started doing the Wednesday. So he drugged me into all this world that I absolutely love and appreciate every moment I get to do with it. So thank you, Stevie. Much love. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? You the real one. You the real one. He is a little chaotic. I don't know if anyone's heard the Wild Card show on Friday on the Twitters.
The energy.
Stevie is quite chaotic, and I freaking love it, which fits tonight because tonight's chaos magic, right? I think that's what we're gonna do. It's supposed to be
Sparkle
a
fingers.
little random,
Smoke and mirrors.
you know.
Mhm.
I got some smoke. Brad looks like a mirror with them glasses on.
Oh,
Honestly, you had my attention at random. You know what I mean? Like when it's all about the random aspects of life and just throwing people off. I don't know if that's what we're talking about tonight, but like my favorite part of life is just being in a conversation with somebody and saying some fucking total asinine shit that doesn't even fucking fit what's happening. Just take them over here, take them over there, see their reaction to it, and that's how I base my relationship with them. It's just like, how fucking goofy can we get? And if they don't like to be goofy, I'm like, oh, this tight ass motherfucker, I gotta tiptoe around them.
wow. Mm.
You know,
Brad,
that's
done
how
with
I
it.
live.
Maybe that's
That's
why your
funny.
name has rando in it, because you like, huh? You were thinking. Did you know you were thinking?
I was smoking a lot of weed. I ain't gonna lie.
That tracks.
Still are, Brad.
Yeah,
That,
like
that actually tracks.
you had when everybody sits down and like puts their name together, like what do you want to be called? What is your brand? You know, it doesn't have to be anything depth or thought provoking behind it too much. But I said, first off,
It's real.
Brad Thompson was taken. That cocksucker, he got me. That's who I am.
Bastard.
So all right, I put in a couple other things and wasn't about to buy those accounts. So, all right, I'm not anybody special, but also, am I?
Of
And
course you are, Brad.
we got to keep things, totally just random at all times. You never know what I'm going to post. People like to make their accounts, like, oh, NFL tweets, oh, Call of Duty tweets, oh, stolen meme central. Keep it on brand, stupid shit. No, you're just getting random nonsense over here. That's it. And
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, dude. You're special to us, Brad. Yes, Mr.
I'm special.
Mundane.
So special.
Big hearts, Brad.
Brad's very special.
Could be the most special person.
Do it this way now. I don't know. I'm redoing my hearts. I like to look at people at work when they're walking by, and I do this and I blow it up to them.
Oh,
That's-
like a Care Bear.
Because that's not a normal thing to do in the setting that I work in with, like, men. Me and my coworker's been doing this thing where, like, so picture like a 6'4" guy with a pretty large build, and you walk into this control room to ask permission, and he just jumps like this and goes, "Oh, you ain't doing weird shit, are you? We ain't doing weird shit in here." And they're just like, "Huh? I need to go on the unit to do blah blah blah." And then the third guy, the operator, be like, "Okay," and then they'll sign in, and when they're done, I'll be like, "Hey, man," and they'll look over me in the corner, and I'll go, "You're gonna do wonderful out there. I believe in you. I love you. I want you to know that. You're doing great. If no one said it today, I noticed." They got to walk out of that room and be like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah, like, you dying? Are you okay, bud? You get all these cards and stuff. Are you okay? Are you okay, Cosmic?
You get
Well,
the
that's
weird
good,
guy
though.
hitting you in the front end with all the energy, and then I'm just like, "You're gonna do wonderful."
Yeah, for real though. Like in your line of work though, you don't want dudes that are just in zombie mode. You want them to be with it. So if you put something in there that's like, what the fuck was that all about?
Right?
Then they're thinking. You got them going. I mean, they might be distracted, but at least they're like conscious.
You're gonna be ready. Yeah, if something weird happens, you were trained in that
Plus,
room.
that's good. What you're doing too is you're just like shooting right into the subconscious by presenting these like non wishy-washy statements. Like they're very assertive, right? And so they're like, "Oh," and we don't usually speak like that too. So I think it probably catches people off guard.
People typically think I'm gay at work, and then, like, if they say the word gay, my joke is always like, "Yeah, but, like, not the good kind." And then that really throws them off because they're like, "Wait, the good kind?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, the good kind."
That's a whole different shift right
You're
there.
just in there messing about.
Levels, bro. I got an L on my forehead for levels. That's why I do it. Because you got to be a little chaotic. I realized preparing for today that pretty much I practice chaos magic for a long time on the daily. I do like have some sigils that I've made. I have some items that I've enchanted. I've done some like weird ritual stuff. And I also live on this like, let's do something random, let's shake it up, let's mix it up, knowing full well nowadays, right? Like the last 3 or 4 years, that I am resetting someone's mind with something when I do these things. I'm resetting my own mind, right? I'm changing my own like moment in reality. It's pulling me present, and I'm going to do something to kind of throw you off, and then you're forced to be like, "Oh, okay, I'm a human right here, right now. What the hell is going on?" You know, and I think that that's important. 'Cause we don't always get that. So I realized I'm a chaos magician. You know, I'm there.
But
Chaos.
I would challenge you in saying like I'm not sure that chaos really exists. I think it's a term that we have to describe something that we can't really fully comprehend. Because to me, at least, chaos represents potentiality, which there's infinite potentials for anything. So saying that something is completely random just means that you don't see the path that it took to get there.
So I'm not saying I disagree with you. Actually, Lacan. Lacan is the father of psychoanalysts. He was a guy who like took Freud's work and did his own thing with it. He's got some stuff that really is cool to line up with that. He followed off of Saussure. Saussure did semiology and something else. But we're gonna get to that. I want to give like a brief like chaos magic intro, and then I
Yeah.
want to come back to this randomness moment. I'm gonna have to look at the phone because I didn't write notes today. I did it while I was, at work and playing with baby girl in the front, like screenshotting some some research stuff. So it is what it is. But so like chaos magic, right? The goal. This is like to me, if you're gonna research it, they're gonna say like it got popular maybe like the '60s or '70s. But really, this stuff goes back thousands of years. If you go to like the Middle Ages, you got your what you call it, your creed, your nobility, the patents of nobility, and they all had
Mm.
their symbols for the families and all that. And that was a time where the magic kind of turned to something a little more literal, a little more serious, but there's meaning behind it. There was power behind it. You're gonna go further back. You're gonna go into like Greek, Roman, and then Egyptian cultures, and I think we can see that is very prevalent in there, right? Symbols had power. You get into tribal before that, and symbols had insane power, right? Like me and Cosmo could sit here and draw. You could see Cosmo's, mine wouldn't be legible, but we could probably draw 10, 20 symbols a piece of things that we know like meant something to somebody back in the day. And it's really cool because it's a two-sided thing, and I'm gonna get into this with Derrida and Lacan because I really want to get into the mental aspect, but I'm gonna wrap it up here a little bit. These sigils, which a sigil is like when maybe you take a word and remove the vowels and make a shape with the consonants, right? You make something out of it that means something to you, or an image for an intent, or for yourself, or for your abundance, whatever it is, and it means something to you.
Tattoos.
Tattoos, absolutely. So that now is charged with an intent and a meaning from you. Some people go a step further, right? Like, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I got a stick I've had since first grade. That stick has meaning to me, right? I've kind of enchanted that stick as like a guide because it was in first grade. I was going in the woods, like the forest with this thing.
Oh,
This was my walking
nice.
stick. I could go when I had a third grader
Sick.
with me. And what I want to get at is like you might take a trinket to somebody, but to you it's something special. And you might do things that make it powerful to you. You might put it in distilled water and leave it under a full moon to get the energy of that moon. And you might hear me say that and be like, that's fucking dumb. But you also might, if someone says something at the same time, be the first person to jinx, or someone's like, oh, we're having an easy day. Be like, oh, don't say that. Right? Because that means something to you because you think they're going to jinx the day. All of these things factor in my opinion. In the meaning, there's a personal meaning for you, and there's a personal meaning for the larger thing, for what other people see, right? Like this, like the big symbols mean something to everybody. But the key, and for the 6 people that have ever watched my videos, I've posted this one I think 3 times over the last 2 years or year and a half. I did one on sigils and symbols and rituals. In my take, if you're Cosmo, you disagree, or Brad, you're not necessarily having an object that has this energy or power. Right. We can argue a little bit on some crystal stuff because there's, piezoelectric properties and this and that.
Mhm.
But what you are doing is you are charging your power into something that allows you to surpass your limiting beliefs. It's almost like on Space Jam, the old Space Jam, when they're losing to the Monstars and they get the bottle of water and they say, it's Michael Jordan's sweat. Right. And then they drink it. and they go out there and they kick ass, dude. They are fucking balling. But did anything actually change for them?
They had that magic though. They had that mojo.
But it was all, it broke their limiting beliefs. They had the skills the whole time. The skill was in them. When I was a freshman in high school, I was maxing out at bench press at like, what's the third one? 135. 135 was my max, right? It wasn't nothing crazy. I was like 14.
Pretty normal though.
And me and my partner were working out the house, and our girlfriends came over, right? And I had a kind of crush on his girlfriend too. She was fine, but anyway, I bench pressed 215 that night. And this was after me working up. I hit 150 like nothing. He put on 175 like nothing. He put on 200, and then he put on the 215, and I struggled, and I got it up, and I went back to football workouts, and I was like, bro, I hit 215. Like I'm there now. And bro, I couldn't hit over 150. 150 was my max out that day. Like,
Didn't have that D juice, dog.
it was surpassing my limited beliefs. That strength didn't change. My physical body didn't change. Maybe some adrenaline or some of that, but all the
The blood
assets,
flow.
but my beliefs changed.
A little bit of that nitric oxide extra pumping going on there.
Oof.
A little pulsate in action.
Them forearm muscles.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's
The lighting's got
forearms.
to be right. There we go. Look at that, dude. That's a muscle right there.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
I used to
creepy.
work out. So
I do actually. I kind of want to bring this back a little bit when you were talking about the total derail, but
derail.
Bring us back, Brad. Thanks.
magicians part of
Back to that Duke.
a lot of the things when I kind of grew up, I always really admired the jester aspect because it was very interesting. Obviously, the king, the queen, whatever you want to call it, like in history, they had the most power, but did they? Right? It was
They were
also
assembled.
who was really guiding them and what was happening around them. I want to share this. Hopefully, our producers half-ass paying attention. I want to speed read this a little bit. Oh shit! I should zoom in on this. Huh? Let's see.
Bro, while you're zooming, I used Grok for like 5 hours Sunday and like 2 hours today, and it's been phenomenal.
It's so this Grok 3 is
Sick.
dope.
Research
Like
is amazing using AI. Sorry.
This is just a compound on like my already belief system. But of course, this is some good shit. Historically, jesters were the original stage magicians. Picture medieval court. A jester in his motley outfit, bell-tipped hat jiggling, pulls a coin from behind a noble's ear, or makes a goblet disappear. It wasn't true magic, but tricks nonetheless. Basically, what we're talking about. But to a crowd who didn't know better, it was supernatural. Tapping into that,
The aliens.
existential fucking, what else is out there. But as we dabble down further, get into the court magician roles. Historically, court magicians weren't always called that. They were the advisors, entertainers, but even sometimes they were on the battlefield too. The alchemists, the astrologers. These were all types of people who were in those roles,
Magician.
but they would basically be a jester when there wasn't any, in a wartime. They were just there to appease the fucking kings and queens. But like, who was out there making them smoke bombs? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where this shit started to come from. So there's a lot of truth to what Cosmic's over here talking about. It's not like they're just, it's all humor and randomness. But I want to see where he's going to go in total counterpoint, Cosmo, because is it all random? Is some of it to maybe put a little bit of attention over here so that we can do something over here? But I just wanted to tap into, I guess, a historical aspect, if you will, of the magician side of things.
Yeah,
I don't say it's all Merlin, but certainly there's. I'm glad Mundane Wizard just talked about that, but exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Historically, it was a jester role too, though. Like, so there's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah. Well, I would use the word archetype for these roles, for these aspects that you're saying, and these are just
Visionary.
well, if you know of like Carl Jung, if you've heard of Carl Jung, his psychology, he's a Swiss psychologist, and he explored
Something fucking.
Shadow
work?
I'm sorry, Brad.
He did
yes,
shadow
yeah,
work, right?
yes, he did. Yeah.
See, look, I know shit.
But what that was, was exploring the subconscious mind, and that's how the subconscious mind works. It works in symbols, it works in sigils, it works in trinkets, it works in how we give meaning to everything around us. All the things that are chaos that don't make sense, that's what our subconscious is in control of. And so by being aware or embodying these archetypes like the jester, I think the best example of the jester is Joker from the DC comics.
Sure.
Joker creates chaos, he creates anarchy to show how feeble our structures are, to show us how really we have no power in our current state, and it's to show things that we're not necessarily being allowed to show. Sorry, Brad, your mic is like.
You got some clothes drying or something back there, or cable? There we go. That's beautiful.
There you go. Ah, much better. Anyways, wrapping it up. Like now, today times, current times, I think stand-up comics and comedians are the jesters, and they're the ones out on X and social media pointing out like the true atrocities that are happening. You know, I think that's our way of kind of protesting now and pointing out things that average citizens don't really get away with. You know, if you're a comic, I feel like you can get away with, or typically in the past you have been able to get away with more because it's your role to kind of poke at society, and it's good for us because it brings up all the dark stuff that we really need to look at to actually make change and to make things better, you know. So archetypes are really powerful, and it's interesting, I think, just how we can incorporate that with this chaos magic because again, like we work with physical reality here with our hands and our body, but inside it's all symbols, it's all shapes, it's all pictures, you know, and that's what we consume in terms of logos for corporations. Those are just sigils. They're just something that's consistent that gives meaning to a brand or a company or whatever that we then associate and, you know, everybody agrees upon. So,
And these corporations take popular symbols and rebrand them into their symbols. I'm sorry, Brad. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that's totally not even no worries there. I guess I just wanted to touch back on one of the things like I think it's in the Art of War, and it could be fucking multiple other places. When it comes to like the jester, like that's also a great duality aspect because there's a lot of times that many people literally just try to act the fool so that they can, you know, be over here thinking a little bit more deeply, trying to pull some strings, things of that nature. I don't want to give away too much of my own personal secrets, but you know, I think it is in the Art of War, but certainly it's all over the place where that's the type of aspect that some of these jesters might be portraying is, you know, just I'm dumb, don't mind me, and you know, kind of get their way.
So what y'all are saying is memes actually do have power, and they really do. Because as stupid and silly as something is, it's going to make you think about the underlying tone, right? And so I wanted to get into, y'all know I'm obsessed with ideology, your beliefs, your subconscious, right? I kind of want to break down a little bit how this works, you know, using some words from some of the greats in the 1900s, 1800s. So Saussure kind of really started this, and he breaks down like a signifier and the signified. So the signifier would be the word. It is the signifier, it launches it, and the signified is like what comes in your brain. And he says that it's all layered. And then Derrida comes around. If you don't know Derrida, he's the godfather of deconstruction, where you pull a single thread and you elaborate. Like I did a 20-page paper on the ideology of Eric Cartman, deconstructing the scene where he's riding on Cthulhu, right? Because there's so much there you can pull with one thread. I highly recommend reading these kind of people because it will change everything in your life. So Derrida was like, yeah, that's cool, but you're not really there. And I'm going to read a little bit, but like he breaks it down basically like saying like cat means something different from bat because there's differences, you know, with the system. And he acknowledges the importance of semiology, but he says it's too limited because you assumes that it's meaning something stable tied to a fixed relationship between the signifier and the signified. We've been over that, right? The word and the concept. And he brings in this word where he ties it with French différence. Okay, so it's the difference and the deferral put together. And so what he's saying is it isn't fixed or fully present in the sign. It's always slip and array, deferred through an endless chain of other signs. So when you try to like pin down what cat means to you, you're led to other words, right? You're led to feline, you're led to animal, to pet, and the full meaning never really quite arrives, right? It's always differing and it's always deferred because you never get there. It's always pushed back. So it challenges that structure. And I think it's really cool because like the exercise we did at LSU when I was just taking this class, 2 decades ago was we had to draw the word tree, right? The teacher was like, draw a tree. And then we all look at everyone's trees and not one fucking tree looked like another tree, right? Because it meant something different to all of us. Someone might not even have drew what I would have thought a tree would be, or we drew different types of trees, but we know what a tree is, but it means something different. And I think that's really important to understand when you start getting into what the input from all these things are going to mean to your subconscious, right? Because it's going to be a little different. And the last one, and I'll stop ranting here, but he gets into what he calls the transcendental signified. And this I wanted to tie in with Cosmo, with the nothing is really random. Okay. So what he says this is a ultimate stable meaning, like God, truth, or reality that anchors all the signs. So your overarching belief, right? Because we have belief systems that run our subconscious, like if I say it's a good day, Cosmo's not gonna have a good day because he thinks I jinx the day, right? Like, and I correct people at work every day. They're annoyed with it because I'm like, it's bullshit. But what he's getting at is semiology, he says, often assumes such a center exists, but Derrida insists there's no such thing. Instead, meaning is a play of differences with no fixed point, which is why he's skeptical of semiology's scientific ambitions to map language systematically. So he's not offering a new system to replace semiology, but a way to question its foundations. And kind of what he's getting at, y'all, is you have these layers of subconscious programming. And that one signifier, that one word, that one sigil, that one symbol, that one brand logo, that one concept is going to mean something different to you as it passes through all these levels. As it passes through a memory of guilt and shame, as it passes through well, it didn't work out this time. Well, it did work out that time I saw this. As it gets to this overall structure of, I believe
A
nothing
tree.
happens when I die. I believe that I'm reincarnated and go to a place of love. I believe that I go to heaven. I believe that you go to hell. Like whatever it is for you, right? And I'm not here to judge any of them. Like that's your life, that's your choices, that's your belief systems. But it really comes down to that overarching ideology. But it never really reaches a full terminal. And if you reflect on that for a while, I think you're going to find some truth that it never really does. It's always shifting. And I think that kind of argues that there's no randomness a little bit.
I mean,
But I get the other side you're saying, because I believe in a lot of things that
Unless it's all random.
what's that mean Cosmic Adonis did when he's looking stupid, thinking, showing off his forearm muscles, nothing matters, therefore everything matters. I don't know.
I mean, to me, it lines up because, as I understand it, quantum physics talks about all of this space, all of this emptiness as being a fluid. Nassim Haramein is a physicist, studies this stuff, and the best definition they have for it is calling it a quantum vortex fluid. And so what that means is when we interact with light, which is a particle and a wave, depending on if you're intervening with it, with your consciousness, energy, everything moves as if it's in a fluid. And so anything I put out word-wise, energy-wise, action-wise, ripples throughout all the system. And so therefore, everything acts upon everything. And so therefore, nothing is random and everything is random, because that has to be both. And that also lines up with the principles of polarity and hermetics being positive, negative. Everything has a polarity, right?
Right.
Go ahead, Brad.
So in essence, there is a God and there isn't a God. Take that.
Well, so what gets interesting though is when we start to talk about experience, because when you talk about experience, you can start to traverse these different possibilities, and then you have something unique to your own individual life, right? Like having children. What a unique experience that is, right? And it's not the same for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. that experience is completely different and it completely changes you, right? So that gives meaning to all this nothingness and everythingness, right?
You know, every single person I went to Iraq with, every single person, we all apparently went to a fucking extremely different place. Not like physically, we all remember the same,
Yeah.
physical
Cool.
buildings. But I'm telling you right now, we experienced totally different things. And maybe that's just because we were on different shifts, different sides of the bases. Some of us were on different bases entirely. But like our experiences are nowhere near the same. And it seems like none of us remember the same thing. It's very odd, very peculiar. But I'm still hesitant to believe that the government even sent me to Iraq. And that's just my right.
Dang, I
Right?
like that idea, dude.
Like maybe it was all just a
Go
fucking
deep on that.
simulation. You know what I mean? Like, how am I to know? They sent me through a lot of training simulations, and like, how am I to know that I was actually sent to Iraq and not just like some fucking deep state fucking place in Nevada or fucking, California? How do I know, dog? Like, it's hot as fuck there too. Like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, everybody was speaking some fucking Arabic, but like, what's that mean to me? Like, they probably just hired these people. You know what I mean?
You don't know if it's real Arabic. Could have been gibberish.
For all I know, it was fucking
We
gibberish.
don't know the difference. So I got three things. One, the great OG. He probably would have been a great rapper if he was around nowadays. Hermes Trismegistus once said, "There is no truth except that there are half truths," and we full circled that. I just wanted to throw that out there to kind of close some context on some of these statements.
Okay.
The second thing is, and this is not just, I was introduced from Dispenza, but I've heard psychiatrists say this. I've heard scientists in interviews say this, like that study brain and stuff. But essentially, your brain or your system, we'll call it your system, because there is memory in the heart, there's memory in water, we're made of water. I'm gonna call it your system, does not know the difference in a lived experience memory and in a very visceral, often imagined, realistic memory. Doesn't know the difference in that. So I have a memory that I don't know if it's true or not from my childhood. I was like maybe 5th grade, and I met this girl at a camp. We were camping at a campground in a tent, and we would hang out at the park a lot, and we were flirty. We had a big crush on each other, right? But I was really young for all of that. And part of me remembers her being my first kiss, and part of me says, "No, Sean, that's a lie. You told yourself." And to this day, I honestly couldn't tell you the truth. Now, I guess I'm gonna say a name because she had a really cool name, and hopefully it was a lie, and I don't dox her. But there was a girl I met at Fernandina Beach when I was in 7th grade, Erin Dixie. Perfect name for a Southern boy like me. That's the first kiss that I know was true because I was a little older and I don't have memories messing with the experience. But that first one, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a point to what Brad's saying scientifically that it's plausible. It's very plausible. They chaos magicked him. Oh,
However,
shit,
for me,
what's this?
it's not because if you go to Iraq on Google Maps and you go to Nasiriyah right outside, there's a pyramid called the Great Ziggurat of Ur, and you'll see my my happy ass right here because I I took a picture on top of that motherfucker when I re-enlisted because they're like, what's it gonna take for you to re-enlist? I'm like, I want to be on top of that fucking pyramid right there.
Oh,
And
boy.
I want to let you guys know
What an ass.
this is now closed to the public. You can't get on top
Because of
there.
you, huh?
Hey, fuck off,
That
motherfucker!
asshole. Ruined it for everybody.
You want me to come back? Give me an Instagram picture on that pyramid, bitch.
Wait, they give you like an award too? Did you get an award at the top of the pyramid?
No, but that was this one, the fancy 2-star one. This don't mean nothing compared to the 4-star one. You know, it ain't nothing. But people blowing us up, you know, and I come in there talking about, hey, we getting blown up, and they're like, no, we're not. And I'm like, why don't you put your camera right over where I got fucking blown up? And they're like, oh shit, we got blown up. And I'm like,
no.
Now obviously the situation was way more intense, and
you would know if you got blown up. Like if someone asked you whether it was simulation or reality, you're gonna remember that.
I was I was at a bus stop, And you're probably thinking, bus stop, Iraq, what the fuck? It was an
They
air
don't have
base.
cars over there.
We guarded an entire air base there, right outside of Nasiriyah, where everything was coming in. And the whole army base was around the Air Force base. I got a coin from the Air Force too, because they're like, yeah, if you didn't secure us, we would have been fucked. I'm like, that's true. That's true.
Thanks, Brad.
So, nevertheless, though, it was a 24-mile fucking army base that I did surveillance for. Pretty, massive fucking base. They did a whole marathon on the base, which was a dumb idea, but we took care of it that day.
Do you have like a Segway? How'd you get around on that?
No, there was buses. There was literally
You a bus driver?
no, there was Indian dot heads, not
the featherhead. Yeah,
right.
That's a military thing. We've covered that on the show.
So,
that's not offensive.
But they were great people. I'm still friends with a few of them on my Facebook. They called me fucking Big Bear because I was taking steroids, and I was big like Bear, and I appreciate it. And I was a little chubby. I still kind of am, like. So, but they would shuttle us around the base. But I'm sitting there at the bus stop, and I swear to God, man, like the fucking concrete barrier blows up behind me, and I'm like,
oh shit. You're like, is that bomb?
You know what I mean? Like,
what happened?
But 10 minutes before, they're calling the EOD team was doing like a controlled detonation. So they're going out there and they're blowing things up at the same time. But this is where things get weird. That's where I got my little fancy coin, is because I'm like, no, you see, the thing is, guys, I'm pretty sure they heard you say controlled detonation over the radio all across this fucking whole town that we're right next to. And then they said, oh, this is the perfect time to launch our shit. It might be a good time to look into this. And considering the fact that they basically just blew up our living quarters, we should probably move where we're fucking staying at right now. And they're like, oh, you have a good point, bro. And obviously there was more complex than this, but it was more because like the concrete barrier just, blew up behind me. And I'm like, dog, I live right there. I was worried about myself. I was being very selfish. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, when you're in those scenarios, dude, like that's how you're gonna think.
Yeah.
So, what they ended up doing is they moved us to a place on the south side of the base, and they put the Ugandans who were there securing the base. They put them in place of where we were at. A little trickery. No big deal. No.
Yeah, why? We don't care about the Ugandans apparently.
No. And if you think that this is bullshit, and like, no, this is exactly 100% what happened. Yeah.
Sounds
good times. They didn't live in the tents anymore, though. We put them in these fucking nice, trailers that had AC. So like, it was an upgrade for them.
Central air is a big thing when you haven't had it.
And rockets. So no big deal. Dude, it was the fucking third time that they blew up our fucking living quarters. And I'm like, don't you guys think we should probably move that? Like, maybe they have this area on lock.
Right.
And they know where we're at. Hello.
And our unreliable lasers might not laser the bombs anymore,
Oh, I worked with the guys who did the counter rocket things.
I've heard.
And man,
you said they don't work, right?
I got in a fucking fight with that motherfucker, but
they don't work.
We got into it. We solved it. I had to apologize because he was a lieutenant. It's the whole thing, Backtrack. That was my bad. But at the same time, was it? Or does somebody need to say, your shit don't work, dog? And
someone's got to stand up. There was a time 2 years ago, they were trying to do some stupid stuff at work. I'm not going to get into details because I really don't like to put, like, I like the funny stuff, but I don't like to put anything out that could, like, connect anything, whatever. And I was mad. I was very mad. I had a boss and my boss's boss in there. And I explained to them how what they were saying was basically bullshit. They weren't concerned about they were concerned about the safety of the people coming in, but the people leaving basically could die because they were about like iced roads and wrecks and stuff. And I was like, no, I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, you're a bunch of cockfuckers. And then I hit the wall, like right by one of the guys' heads, like bloodied my hand. And I went straight out the room. I went smoke a cigarette, try to calm down, right? Because I don't want to lose my job. And I came back in and I looked at both of them, right? Because they're like lieutenants. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the levels above me in this place. And I came back in and I was like, hey, I didn't handle myself properly. Like, I'm sorry, but I also wasn't fucking wrong. And they were like, all right,
Happy
we'll
to
shook
follow
hands.
you.
Never had a personal issue, you know. They were just like,
Nice.
we're good. We're good. You got to get it out. Sometimes you got to get it out, you know. And they probably didn't disagree with me, but they couldn't say that they didn't
Yeah.
disagree with me. You know what I'm saying? So someone's got to do it. Someone's got to stand up, you know. Oh, it's chaos. And it was magical because I still had that same job. So chaos
You
magic.
did some magic. They're freaked the fuck out over you now. Don't talk to Cosmic.
Well, the guy that I punched next to, I think he was like special forces back in the day. I want to say, I don't know if he was a ranger, but he was in some kind of army special forces. And even though he's like 10 years older than me, it's one of those scenarios. I'm like, someone's gonna get their ass whipped. It might be me, but it's gonna be someone. But it was gonna be me. It was definitely gonna be me. And I fought a lot. Like, I'm very confident. But no, it
It's
wouldn't.
that guy.
But if that would have happened, it would have stayed in that room. You know, and I think that's a respectable thing from both of us. Like, neither of us would have ever like escalated that to like a job losing thing. It'd have been like, all right, why you're all bloody, man? I fucking walked into the bathroom door. I'm good. We'll move on with our day. Yeah, so that's that. That's
I mean, honestly though, like that's same relationship though. When that lieutenant, I mean, my wife was in the picture I showed you guys, but he was the officer who did the reenlistment ceremony after we got in our fucking whole spat. Confrontation leads to great things as long as you can actually drop your ego, talk to each other afterwards, find out what the fuck got you in that situation in the first place, take the emotion out of it as much as you possibly can, cry if you have to, and then fucking man up and just fuck. I was out of line, but I also needed to tell you X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
My approach was highly incorrect.
It normally leads to respect. It normally leads to mutual respect if it's handled well in the back.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We got 13, 14 minutes. If I'm gonna say two things. One, if Brad or Cosmo are willing to be a little vulnerable about something, I would be excited to do a paradoxical therapy exercise. I sent y'all the video to see what it is, but if y'all didn't, I'll explain it and we can get into it. That'll be fine. 1 second.
I mean, I'm down, Brad. Are you in a good place? How you feeling, Brad?
I'm pretty good. I mean, like,
it's not going to be super revealing. I'm going to ask questions, and it's just going to work on one thing that you feel like you need to work on, or that's bothering you, or you want to get past. Part two, before we hit the break, I want to do this. And if Cosmo, if you want to take it, or Brad, you want to take it, but I want to explain like ritualistically charging a sigil or a trinket or something you make or a stick you find to being something of chaos magic, of something powerful to you that you either might carry with you, you might write it down and bury it, you might burn it and put it into and transmute it right to another state of matter to release it. Do you want to do that, Cosmo or Brad?
No, man, you got it.
So I haven't done this. I have not done this personally in a long time, but I do know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, like, I hate to be like, also like there's these wigs back here, which kind of, because like
it's chaos magic.
You have to put that energy in them, and like that's the only energy that comes out of them.
Yes.
Type deal. But I don't want to say, I don't want to sound so creepy, but like I didn't put the same ritualistic energy type effort into, like when I saw these wigs, I just like looked at it. I don't want to sound weird, but like, you can look at the colors of the wigs and you're like, this is the personality for that wig. That's the energy to match it. But when it comes to like vehicles are really weird, because even though it's electronic, when I'm in a vehicle, I feel like after a long period of time, you get a general sense of understanding, not necessarily compassion. It's a fucking goddamn object, But you can tell like when something's out of tune, when something's out of rhythm, when something's out of balance with the vibration, the harmony, the overall sounds, not just your speakers, of course, when your tweeters are blown, but you know, if like my front right axle, if it starts to, be a little wobbly, we got some mud in the tires, I can feel that. I know what's happening because there's a little bit more drag up there, and I can feel that all in the steering wheel, the vibrations in my foot. And if you guys have never felt that, you're not a good fucking driver. Get off the goddamn road, fucking let an Uber fucking take you where you need to be, because you ain't a driver. You're a passenger, dude. You're the one that's fucking driving 10 under because you're too fucking scared to fucking go anywhere. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm feeling this road, baby. We're going. That's my take on that.
But you sense the personality almost in your vehicle. I talk to the Blue Falcon all the time. I thank the car. I thank my body, though. I have a relationship with everything.
The
Like I
Blue
was today, I
Falcon.
was walking back from my unit, and I was like, man, thank you. Like I'm really appreciative for this body that does a great job to keep me healthy, and it functions phenomenally, and it fights off colds, and it serves me well. And you guys are doing great, and I appreciate all the work you're putting into, even when I don't make the best decisions to take care of you. Thank you. This is like a probably 3 to 5 days out of the week. I thank my body. I talk to my body, my cells. Um, it matters to me because it affects with my belief system. And I think it's really cool. I would challenge people to try to make something and just have the experience. There's a stigma that like it's some kind of like evil thing or dark thing, and it's not. There's nothing about it that is, unless you make it that, right? Unless you make it a voodoo doll or something. But like, I'll give an example. What I've done in the past. I took a piece of paper. It was from a notepad that belonged to my wife, which meant something to me. It was a notepad she wrote on every day, so I felt like her energy is a little bit there. And I wrote down 3 goals, 3 5-year goals for me to accomplish as a human. And I wrote some bullet points under each goal of like sub details, how I want to get there, how I want it to be. This is who I want to become. And I wrote them down. I took it out and I put it by my heart. And I just kind of held it for a while and felt what it felt like. And how I felt about that at first might not have been great, right? That I'm super confident I'm gonna hit all these, or I believe it's all gonna be real. But then I said, okay, now how will I feel like after I have achieved it? Right? When I become this person, because it's who I am, it's my future now. Right. And some of those things were lofty. So I thought about that, right? Like I'm there and I started envisioning me being part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm not gonna share them, right? Because that's for me. And how does that feel? And it felt great, dude. And it was full of love and energy and excitement. And I held that in with my heart because I think your heart is a very strong place of vibration and like magnetic energy, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. So I did that. And then I take it to my head, right? Get a little bit of that third eye, whatever you want to symbolize that for. And I look at it like I'm putting some thoughts, because ancient Kemet, when the technology was the best, that science, they got better as they got older. They taught that prayers were your thoughts. Every thought left your brain, and all the gods saw your thoughts. So you needed to guard your thoughts and be conscious of what you're thinking. That was a teaching they had, which I think I carry that today. Once I learned it, became part of my daily life. So I do that with the paper. Then I say, okay, I've heard cinnamon's good luck, right? Heard cinnamon's good luck. I hear that you use honey, a witch will use honey on something because it sticks. And I'm like, man, I love honey and I love the vitamins that honey gives, and it lives forever, right? Like raw honey is good for hundreds of years, thousands, I don't know.
Vibrating.
So I put the honey on it. I take some cinnamon and drizzle some cinnamon on it. I go in my backyard. I had to bury a squirrel that my ex rescued, and I had that squirrel for over 12 years. And she had the best fucking life. Squirrels live 3 to 5 years in the wild. She had the best life. And she passed. It's the only pet I've ever had who's grown up, because I don't like pets. And I buried her next to where my lemon tree was. My lemon tree died in a hurricane from the generator. But those are 2 very special spots in my yard. And I dug a hole with my hands. No shovel, no tools, just with my raw hands. I dug a hole probably about 7, 8 inches deep, like over a full hand. My wrist was in there. And I said a few things out loud, and I put my bare feet and bare hands on the ground right there and put the paper in the hole. And I kind of knelt down with the paper with some intentions, and then I buried it with my hands. That's the kind of things I'm talking about, that you put some power into it. And it's not that honey, that cinnamon, that piece of paper, that the location, none of that is some magical thing. But the meaning it has to me, the energy that was charged, the future memories that were made, the emotions that were felt, the weight now that is on there. There's some shit with those goals now, bro. Because I put some effort into that. I put my soul tied to those goals. I made it special, which makes it powerful. Right? That weird guy with long hair that plays D&D that carries like this weird organite thing with him that he charges under the moonlight, and you look at it and you're like, man, that thing looks cheap. That's shitty. But you know what? He loves it. And he charges it under a full moon every month with special water, and he puts special salt in there, and then he puts it in a special shrine in his house because he respects it, because he says that brings him good luck every day, or he says that brings him abundance in his life every day. And you know what? For him, it breaks that limiting belief that I'm going to have a bad day, that I'm not going to have enough money for the bills. Those limiting beliefs are gone because he put everything into this sigil, this symbol, this thing that, no, it's going to save me. Well, it's not going to save you, but your new belief system will. What did Cosmo talk about? Everything in the universe is a liquid. Everything's a fucking wave. Everything's a wave until there's conscious observation on it. Neil deGrasse Tyson will argue that and say, the photons in your eyes might affect the quantum particles. And maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. I'll challenge him on it, right? Is he smarter than me? Yeah, but I don't give a fuck. I'm Cosmic Adonis, bitch. What I'm getting at is, it's all this until there's conscious observation. It collapses into reality. It's the same thing with your dreams, your goals, your ideas, your outlook on your day, your perception. You get to choose all of it. You choose all of it all the time, whether you know you're choosing or you're not. I want people to be aware of that. That is life-changing shit. And I want people to be aware that a psychologist said people like when you see your palms. So I've been very palm happy on the show the last couple of weeks. I want people to be aware of the power they have, right? It's not in anything else. It's in you, but there's things you can do that can release it through you, right? You can bench 210 when you're only benching 135, 150. You can. I did it. Call me a liar. I know my truth. You know, say who my first kiss was, and then I'm a liar because I really don't know. But I know the bench press thing. I wanted to get that in. I really wanted to get that message in the
Really
first
had to let everybody know you bench 210. I feel you, dog.
I don't even know what I haven't bench pressed in 20 plus years.
215, bro. It was
No,
215.
no. Not 20
No,
plus,
dude.
like 18 years.
Dude, that was good. I mean, that was really, I appreciate your vulnerability with that, because I think that was a really great. There's Brad over here. Happy yes. No, for real. That's all Brad got. But no, for real. I mean, I think it's powerful, and it shows how much our belief systems affect our reality, and that's the coolest part. Like, if you don't take anything else from this, is that you can change that. All of that is up for grabs. It's a choice. Like Cosmic says to his daughter all the time, it's a choice. Everything is a choice, and so I think that's what's cool about this notion of everything out here is chaos, seemingly, right? You don't have control over any of that. Do you? I mean, have children. Try that. See how much control you have. You have zero control. My boy Arlo climbs all over everything in our house to the point where he'll die if we don't stop him. It's like, dude, what the fuck? So try and see what it feels like to start controlling things on the inside. Say whatever you need in the inside. Have whatever experiences you need on the inside. All of my growth, like I would say, is from going inside. Everything that I've learned is from going inside. Everything out here is a test. It's all a game. It's a game to test and see what's real inside. But the point of all this is to figure out what's in there. And once you figure that out, then you can start pouring out into the system, into what you want, and creating. Because you're either creating or you're consuming. And the system wants us to consume so that we don't create. So once you start to clean out everything on the inside, then you start creating. And this is how you create, is how Cosmic is describing it.
I'm glad you wrapped that up the way that you did, because I was going to make sure we touched on a similar notion, but that's good enough. But I put a tweet out that I'm pissed off that didn't go viral. Fuck Gex and these motherfuckers sometimes, but that's my bad. But to touch on what Cosmic said earlier, though, Very rarely in my life have I had to see something to know it was there. And in fact, many
Yeah.
times when I see it, my perception is totally askew from what the reality of what it really is. And I think that kind of encapsulates what the majority of what this whole fucking first hour was, with a few tweaks. Cosmic can, bench 215 once or twice in his life. You're gonna fight Jake Paul. He got to get that up to 250 easy, dog. I'm telling you right now. We got to get your squats up to 400. You got to get those squats up to 400. They're gonna last fucking 4 rounds. I ain't gonna lie to you. But we got to put on a show for the people. Put on a show. Make it last 4 to 5. You know what I mean? Dance
Give me that
around.
10 million deal. I'll take 6 months to train. I'll quit my job. I'll train every day. I'll be ready. I ain't scared at all. All right, we got a pee break. We're gonna come back. I kind of want to. We're gonna kind of continue this for a few minutes. A few other thoughts, and if Cosmo or Brad's willing to do paradoxical therapy, I'm gonna share a tool with y'all that's really fucking cool. And we'll probably get derailed a lot. I mean, we got some more content to cover, but we have some good times to have too. Love y'all. Be back. 5 minutes. Poems. People love poems. Good energy.
Toasting to the highs with every sweet drink. Hot knives and alchemists watch the world blink. Beverages so fine they lift you above. With THC, honey's a potion of love. Raise up your cup, let the good times flow. Hot knives got the secret, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Roll it up, light it right, let's ignite this night. DOS filters got the goods, everything feels so right. From carbon to the paper, every puff, pure bliss. With the roller in hand, I just can't resist. Ease your mind, elevate your vibe. DOS filter, the choice you make. For the pride.
Tangy rolling up tight, every strain on deck. From the depths of the flower, come, connect, support other growers. We elevate the game, cannabis family unite. Let's light up a flame. With every puff we rise, watch the smoke fill the sky with the green revolution. Dab side, dab it, roll it, light it, blow for the love of the plant. Let the whole world know, supporting each other, that's how we grow. And the rope on excites that our spirit flow. In this
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on. All three of y'all about to look like a bunch of smiling dickheads.
Season 3 comes out this year. Season 4, Righteous Gemstones. Watch that shit. We're back. We're back on Tuesday. We're back on It's Different. I'm going to hit them with that. Ooh, wee. You know what I'm saying? Like that Ric Flair with it. Give him 3 claps. You know what I'm saying? That's my own call. That's my call. That ooh-wee. You hear ooh-wee in 10 years, you're going to be like, oh, shit, Cosmic made it. He made it. They're going to know from that. They're going to be like, yeah, I remember when he beat the shit out of Jake Paul in round 4, when he hit him with that 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's round 4. I'm going to go by the numbers. First round, I'm just throwing jabs. Second round, I'm a jab in. I'm a jab in and work that inside. Third round, though, I'm a jab in hook with the right. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to work a little bit of that face with the gut. But in that fourth round, my big move, I had 2 moves. My big one's that 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to let you get me. And then I'm going to come with that left. But you know what? My older career didn't get to that because I'm left-handed. Everyone else is right-handed. So when they fight, I'm like this. They're the other way. They want to be big haymakers with their right arm. So old Cosmic would just duck it and hook that arm up and have their arm pulled back like this. And then I can either put you on the ground or rip your arm out your socket. I stopped probably 10 fights before they started just by doing that. Just putting you in that zone. You know, like I can pop it or you can stop. It's up to you, bitch.
I want to see that, bro. I want to see that someday.
I'm gonna get that money.
Has it come close to happening recently at all?
Like a real fight?
Like no wash hands guy, no hand wash guy.
That's how it worked, dude. I can't lose my health insurance. Like no hand wash guy. No one likes them, so everyone would probably be happy. No, but I wait for the day. This is a sad truth about me, bro. Like I wait for the day that a no weapon scenario evolves into a I gotta defend something. I'm sorry, it's a truth about me. I'm not supposed to be that person, right? But it's there. It's gotten deep.
I get it.
Boy,
it's the warrior archetype, right, Brad? Warrior.
It is. So
got fight.
Warrior in the garden.
This Saturday, fellas. Last Saturday, past tense. There I was, basketball tournament, right? My daughter, and she's a little bit smaller. You know, she's short. It sucks, but she was born as a tiny baby, not quite preemie, but she was real tiny. Nevertheless, there was a girl picking on her, right? Pushing her around, getting real physical, kind of like throwing a little, not closed-handed punches, but open palm jabs, hitting her in the face. And I went over to the coach. I said, "Hey, man, she keeps hitting her. You know, I'm gonna tell my daughter to hit her back." Nothing happened. But he separated them for a bit. Made sure they weren't guarding each other. But of course, as time went on, they went back and she started picking on her again. And the teammates were bringing it to the coach's attention now at this point, but the refs weren't stopping it. So when the 2 girls, my daughter and the other girl, got to the corner next to where I was standing, I looked at the girl and my daughter and I said, "Layla, at this point, it's okay for you to start hitting first. You've been hit enough. I'm tired of it." And the girl looks at me and I said, "You can go tell your dad. I don't care. I don't care. She can hit you first. It's over." And at the end of the game, her mom comes up to me, right? Of course, she's a single mom. She doesn't know how to fucking, act properly, right? Figured this out, felt bad. Sucked. But if it was the dad, it was going to be a straight fist fight. The mom, of course, total crack addict, felt like. But she's just so upset. Like, how are you going to tell your daughter to start hitting my daughter? And I'm like, how the fuck you not going to tell your daughter to stop hitting mine? Like, what the fuck are we even talking about here?
How is this a conversation, right?
Like, how are you mad at me? If anything, like, are you fucking insane? If you were a man, I'd beat your fucking ass right now. Like, what the fuck are we even talking about? But, my wife almost fucking body slammed that hoe. So, like, it's good. It was close. And, all those kids, they were sitting around, they were watching it. And they're just like, this is how adults act in the real world. And I'm like, as soon as the whole confrontation got over, I was like, yeah, that was exciting energy. All right. Look at your coach. Don't look at me.
Drama. I mean, that's kind of what you hope for at kids' sporting events. It's just some sort of drama. I mean, it sucks kind of when it's your kid, but your kid got to punch somebody else's kid, and it was all right, right?
Like, sadly, my daughter never even fucking hit her. We're working on this, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're working on this. She was pushing back a little bit, but like her shoves were too cute and innocent. Like, I'm need to like learn how to open hand palm strike to the nose. Like, I
Yeah.
wanted to see that little kid fucking bleed. And like, I don't care. What are we gonna do? You want to fucking sue me over it? Like, no, hell no. Fuck you. Your kid was assaulting my kid first. Like,
Just like
insanity.
no apologies, unapologetic.
Uh-uh.
You don't have them days.
I thought this was America. What? I thought this was America.
It's America.
That's how we do it, right, Brad?
So
I mean, I think we've all seen it. Yeah.
Started hitting at me playing, so I put my hands up, right? To hit my hands, and she was doing it wrong. So I taught her how, because she's doing this and this, and I taught her like how to make a fist, how to actually hit, so she don't hurt herself. And I'm like, okay, so who can we hit? Oh, we can only hit Daddy because he's tough and he likes it. Like, well, this is my child, no doubt about it. Daddy's tough; he can take it. We can hit Daddy. She's getting there now.
My daughter, she just doesn't want to inflict pain on anybody. She's still in that everything's cute, everything's wonderful, phase of life where she doesn't want to accept that things are horrible. And I'm not trying to constantly advocate, like, hey, life sucks, fucking toughen up, but like a little bit, like when she's getting pushed around, like I'm definitely at this point, like, look, you're 11 years old. You have to start punching a motherfucker in the mouth at some point. This is that point. Fuck.
This is that point.
You gotta teach it. See, it's not that way with boys. Like, my boys just fight all the time. They fight everything. Yeah. They fight themselves. Like, Arlo will just run into walls. He's fighting the house. And what do you do with that?
What do you do with that?
How do you bring it the other way? It's like, boy, let's bring it down. No, that's good for them. That's why we have 5 acres, so now they can run.
Go find a tree to fight.
Yeah, go fight that tree, boy.
Honestly,
fight that pine tree.
What you just said, that's my favorite fucking hobby. I cannot wait for springtime so I can get my axe. Not like I'm just going out there and fucking cutting down, great healthy trees. Calm down, guys. I have my 4 acres.
Chaos magic.
It's overgrown fucking forest, and like I'm not going out there with a chainsaw and cutting them all down, but I'm slowly trying to thin it out, making a nice healthy forest with my pollinator garden. And you can ask the producer, like, they'll be like, oh no, man, we should get a chainsaw for this. And I'm like, no, dog, like, that's what the axe is for. Are you stupid? Like, we'll spend an hour out here cutting down a goddamn oak tree. And like, if you think that did not happen, it did. It literally did. Full hour oak tree. Took fucking long as hell. My hands fucking hurt for like a week. But that thing came down, boys. Fuck that tree.
Fuck that tree.
Fucked it up.
Marty's over here going, kidneys don't need bruises.
Yeah. But they do make you pee blood, because that's the only fight I've ever been in, Cosmic. I've been in one fight. They don't. Nobody ever fought me though, because I grew big and tall at a very young age. When I was 12, I was like 6 feet tall, so nobody messed with me, or I got messed with a lot because of the little kids. There's this one kid, Brad Hell, redheaded kid. Sorry, I doxed him, whatever. He spit in my face. He turned around. I socked him in the kidney. He told me like a couple days later, dude, I've been pissed and blood, man. I'm kind of scared. Like, I felt kind of bad, but I was like, dude, why would you do that? That's like such a little bitch thing to do. To like spit in this dude's. I was like a foot taller than him, and he's messing with me. It's like, so lesson learned: your kidneys, you can pee blood if you get socked with those suckers.
You'll definitely pee blood if you get hit with a pocket knife in the kidneys.
It did. Turn it up a level. I was talking about punch, bro.
Naughty gangster, bro. I like her.
I'm pulling that from the comments. What you talking about? I didn't make that up.
Yeah.
No, Brad. No.
I ain't popping anybody in the kidneys.
Oh,
now,
all right.
Look, now I will. I live near Lake Michigan and Lake Superior. I don't know if you know what happens in those lakes, fellas, but like,
no,
bodies don't show up. So,
it's like some of the swamp areas down here.
Mm-hmm.
Just like melts.
Well, no, they just like go down, and like, how you gonna find that shit? The aliens take them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, gators and alligator guards lead them down here.
Same thing, really, if you think about it, right? Mm-hmm. Snake people, aliens. Same, same.
Wisconsin no longer has mothers.
We just have warrior trainers.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I wanted to wrap up the first hour.
Oh, did you guys actually see what she's talking about though with Wisconsin? They call them inseminated partner or something like that.
Oh my
What?
goodness.
It's so
That's
weird.
It's an aggressive name.
Investigator, can you pull this up perhaps?
And inseminated.
I think Elon Musk quote tweeted it and said like what's going on in Wisconsin. But like it's the weirdest fucking proposal I've ever seen in my life.
It's like a new pronoun thing. Or?
I don't fucking.
That's
I live
beyond
here.
that.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. They pulled me over for a fucking seatbelt last week, and I wanted to fucking flip out. Like I swear to God. Like I don't know what's happening in this state. But
yeah, we got no cops where we're at. We just got a couple sheriffs, and they're like, "Keep going."
I got a seatbelt ticket when I was at LSU. I had a recovering from wrist surgery, cast on my arm in a sling and a cast on my knee where they cut the bone out of. And this dude pulled me over, made me get out of the car. I'm limping with my stick. My first grade stick was my cane. And he gave me the ticket. I'm like, bro, I got one arm and one leg, and you gonna give me a seatbelt ticket? And he's like, yeah, I am. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna cuss you out right now because it's gonna make it worse because you're obviously a piece of shit dick. But I have no problems with authority. I'm not an anarchist rebel at all. Go back to the thing. I'm sorry,
no,
Corey.
that didn't have the proper verbiage. It was the story, but very clickbaity story. Very rude.
No.
I think he's gonna look up for a different source, and if not, I'm trying to pull one up right now. Find what the hell we're talking about, because otherwise I'm gonna totally derail, and I'm gonna talk about my suspicion as to why I continue to get pulled over for no seatbelt. It either A has to do with them knowing that I smoke copious amounts of fucking marijuana in a legal state, and they're trying to get me. They're trying to fucking search me every motherfucking time. Or,
Steve,
believe it or not, I think it's because I'm 12% black.
What?
Yep.
Could be.
I'll pull my ancestry up right now.
Dude.
You guys can talk about it, but I'm telling you right now, it could be because I'm just a little bit darker than them, and they're like, pull that motherfucker over, see what he doing.
Right.
But I'm leaning more towards the first thing, to be honest with you.
Huh.
I smoke a lot of weed, and they're like, let's see if we can look in his car.
You could do what I did.
Is he on his way back from Michigan with all that weed? Trying to sell all these kids in there. But they won't pull over their fucking friends who sell the meth. You know, like that's just Wisconsin code.
Right. The actual bad stuff. I'm not going to mess with that.
No. That brings money in, you know? So, got to fix those potholes somehow.
So, back during COVID, I did some chaos magic, like legitimately. Everyone was locked in. People weren't going to jobs, but I was. What do they call? What do they call that? Or what person? What do they call the people that had to go to work?
Emergency fucking. No, they were first. No,
essential. I'm an essential. I'm an essential employee, right? So we were driving like everyone was going 80 to 95. There were no accidents. Cops didn't pull anybody over. And I said to myself over and over so much in that time that cops don't pull me over. And I believe it. I believe it 100% that as long as I'm being a respectful driver to the people around me, right? I'm respecting if someone's slow, I'm not going to try to like do crazy stuff, but I'll go around them in a safe way. As long as I'm respectful, a cop will never pull me over. And a cop has never pulled me over. I've ran up on so many speed traps in Baton Rouge. And I have never had a light come on since I made that statement and 100% believed it. I think that there's power in this stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
How long does it take for that to integrate, do you feel? Like at what point do you feel like it becomes part of the belief system and you're no longer programming it? Or do you just do it every day regardless?
This is my experience. You have to have lived experience to integrate that belief to part of your reality. right? Because the
Mm,
word believe implies doubt. I believe in God means I have
yeah.
some level of doubt that God's real.
There's
I
the
know
word
God,
lie and the word belief too.
right? I know God's real. There is no doubt. So a belief isn't yet in your subconscious programming. But when you have experiences that lead this to be truth, once it becomes a truth, it's your reality, it's there. It's there. And my experience has been, I've been fooling with this probably, 2019, 2020, kind of hardcore. The thing is, you can't lie to yourself. I can want to believe something and make it a part of me and make it true, but I know if it's not true.
Yeah,
If it's a real truth about you or something that you want to be or something you're going to do, like a cop's not going to pull me over, I can believe that. More than believe, I can know it, and I have known it, and it's held up. You can't lie to yourself. But when you got the experience to back it up and it becomes part of that registered part of your life, it's going to be there. Like I will stand on that because I've lived it.
Mhm.
But if there's any bit of doubt that this is a reality for you, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So your
Yeah.
beliefs have to support that you're capable.
Yep, 100%. And I think there's an aspect of surrender there too. When you're envisioning these things that you want to change about yourself that you feel like will benefit you, or you feel it's going to be the highest version of yourself, you need to be able to test it. And so there's an aspect of you having to kind of be vulnerable with that. And I think like this for a lot of us is kind of a test. Like for me, being more of a creative introvert, being more external and talking and, you know, expressing these more kind of esoteric ideas to an audience that probably has never even heard of a lot of this stuff.
Right? That's the goal.
Yeah, it's the goal.
Entertainment and a new audience.
Right. But it's that test that gives you the feedback to be like, okay, now I have that experience. How do I feel about that? And that's where Cosmic's talking about you can't lie to yourself. So you really have to sit with yourself and you have to be able to know, like, how do I feel about that? And for you to know that, you need to clean out all the junk that's on the inside. And that's shadow work, which we can always go back to because,
I want to do a shadow work night.
I want to touch on this a little bit
I
because
want to
like
have the shamans back to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brad.
yeah, no, you're
Sorry.
shaman's good. That's a good one. But when it comes to like this belief structure, I want to be a affirmative on suggesting I haven't got like a speeding ticket or anything. I don't personally believe that like as soon as I see a cop, I'm going to get pulled over. I don't want to say that I have a belief system that like you suggested that like I'm not. But for instance, though, Florida, who cares? I could probably go 85, 90 fucking miles an hour, right? I could in Jacksonville. If you've ever been in Jacksonville, you know what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
look, you can go about like 105 on 95, and like as long as you're behind other people doing 100, you're good. Ain't gonna be a problem. So, like, look, I get it.
Baton Rouge is like that.
But in this town of Wisconsin that I live in, which recently had an influx of I don't know how to say it, illegal immigrants from Mexico. You know what I mean? They're not really pleasant on them, and you guys might be looking at me like right here. So I'm gonna hope the producer pulls this up because like y'all gonna have to look at this when we're talking about these whiteys up here in Wisconsin. Listen, folks, check this out. Look at my DNA. They can sense this from a fucking mile away. They say, look at all this right here. Get over here. Get over here. We got to sniff you out, boy. And then I have to like literally tell them, like, you know, like I was a veteran in the army, pull my fucking ID card. And then they're like, oh, go on about your day. But here, you can still pay this ticket because you're a little bit colored, boy. And
1% Nigeria. I see it, boy.
You got a little, I can't read the word, but is that Morocco? You got some Moroccan in you?
You know, all the
very powerful.
All the slave areas for sure. Yeah.
Good stuff. Moroccan's a very powerful heritage.
Honestly, I need to go to Africa. Like when I got the ancestry and I was like, oh no shit. Like I think
you'll know. You'll know when you go home, Brad.
Yeah, they'll know.
Yeah. As soon as I get over in the fucking Benign Togo, they're gonna fucking hawk out, and I'm gonna fucking get down, dog. Like
yeah, boy. Bring those wigs.
But Seriously though, like in Florida, it's hilarious because like I'm white as fucking Florida. In all honesty, like they don't even look at me as any part of mixed nothing. I'm Caucasian. But here in Wisconsin, oh no.
Really? Are
Oh
you like
no.
exotic in Wisconsin?
I think they kind of think I'm Native American because there's a lot of
Okay.
natives around here too that
You look
are
little Cajun if you were down here. You just
yeah,
it's a
I
normal
could
look.
Eskimo? Like
that's
Inuit, kind of?
I think
That's
that's what
Alaska.
they think. You know, it's because I'm a little
Okay.
olive, if you will.
Olive.
Man.
I don't know if I'd call you olive. You got some pretty fair skin there, buddy.
I mean,
But I don't know. I don't know Wisconsin.
we're pretty
Okay.
white up
We're
here.
pretty mixed here, so we got a lot of variety. So I
We're
don't.
pretty white
Baton Rouge, New Orleans, a little diverse, bro.
Yeah.
here called Country Cafe Kitchen, and it is all K's.
Okay, I'd probably fit in there. I get along with the gays very well.
No,
It's the majority of
K's.
my friends.
K's.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said the gays.
No,
Three.
capital K. Yeah, it's not a good look.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's actually Country Cafe Catering now, but it's still all K's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it now.
Head
Yeah.
over to the triple Ks.
Yeah, you know.
Well, let's not dwell there very long.
No, this is going to a dark place.
If while we got some
Isolation.
time, do one of y'all want to volunteer to do this exercise?
I mean, I'm happy to be the guinea pig.
Okay, so
I
I'll
like this stuff.
explain what this is, and while I'm explaining to the audience and to you, think about something that you feel you work on, right? Like something that like it affects you on a daily or somewhat daily basis. Okay, so basically what this is, I'm going to make a series of statements and questions. The only thing you say to every single one of them is see truth. That's your answer to everything. My statements and questions may or may not be true. They may or may not apply, but your answer to everything is see truth. Are you following?
See truth.
That's the only answer you give me.
Exactly.
And sit in that answer. Okay.
See truth. So I'm not actually giving any answers to any of the questions you're asking. I'm just thinking
Or
about it and
statements.
then saying, see truth.
Some of this stuff's going to be statements, and I'm improving it. Like the person who gives this kind of therapy is improving their statements and questions based on the person in the scenario and what they're going through. And our goal is going to be, so if you would share, they got cars in the background, of course. There's no roads anyway.
Okay.
What would be your thing? What would be your thing you're working on in progress?
I think the inner critic. There's an inner critic, like especially with my work, that is consistently kind of judging what I do, and it can be interruptive when you're trying to be creative, especially in like a really free form, like ideating and stuff. So that's something I struggle with.
Okay. So the goal is going to be to get you to a point from a 0 to a 10, where a 10 is this is debilitating. It's bringing depression, anxiety, and I have to stop my day. And a 0 being I am completely at peace. I am euphoric with this. It's not an issue. Where would you say you are right now? It doesn't have to be a big number, right? It's the truth of wherever you are right now. We're doing a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I think because I focused on it for so long and I went through my NFT journey of doing like professional NFT art for a couple of years and putting out collection after collection for myself and other projects and stuff, I think I really flexed that muscle. But it's getting towards the end of me wanting it to be like a 0, of wanting it to be kind of just in this mode where I'm more effortlessly kind of creating, which I'm getting there. I'm looking at my whiteboard and I have like a bunch of stuff that I came up with today, like out of nowhere. But to like get that last bit of integration, I think where you're going is getting me to feel that spectrum of complete release from it, and then this is soul crushing to be able to understand that full spectrum to fully integrate it. Maybe I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. So a 1 to 10 scale. Where are you right now? A 3. Okay, which is interesting because I got this from the Aubrey Marcus interview, right, with the witchcraft, sexual witchcraft stuff, and
Mhm.
his answer was a thick 3.
A thick 3? What does that
Thick
mean?
3. It's a thick 3. Like it's a 3, but it's a strong. This a thick 3.
Oh, like
You know,
ain't
it's a
moving?
strong.
Mm.
So that's interesting. It's the same spot, right? So the goal would be to get to 0.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna literally repeat what she said because I think it holds true to this scenario. If you're watching right now, if you're live with us, if you're watching on a replay, I think that inner critic voice is something that applies pretty universally to people, right? So
Mhm.
play along, answer see truth for yourself to these questions, and we're gonna take this ride together. And we're gonna see if it does good. Maybe I fuck it up. Who knows? Maybe this goes beautifully. We're gonna find out, right? This is what live shows to me is all about, is taking a risk and trying to do something really cool. Okay. All right. So here we go. Does your inner critic debilitate you during the day sometimes?
See truth?
Just fire back. See truth. See
Okay.
truth.
Okay.
Does that voice get louder?
See truth.
When that voice gets louder, sometimes does it make you feel like a child again?
See truth.
Does it remind you of times that maybe you had some adults that brought out that inner critic in you, that their voices echo nowadays?
See truth.
Does it bring you of a time where maybe you got angry about it and frustrated?
See truth.
As you got older, did you learn that your emotions maybe could be an energy that you could use for growth?
See truth.
Do you find that sometimes it stops you from being creative?
See truth.
Do you find that sometimes it's almost a kink for you that makes you want to be creative?
See truth.
Can it be a thing that sometimes is the only thing that would make you take up the action to be creative and do the things that you're passionate about?
See truth.
Is it something that can distract you and it can take you away from the passion and take you away from creating for days on end that bring you into a depression or an anger and anxiety?
See truth.
When you have that anger and anxiety and that depression, does it turn into a place that you have to reflect on yourself?
See truth.
Does that reflection become something that makes you change as a person almost instantaneously when you look within?
See truth.
Would you say that if you never had this inner critic, you would be someone that had an NFT project, that there were hundreds of people that appreciated the art?
See truth.
If you didn't have that inner critic, would you be on a podcast right now taking the risk to do a live practice with someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing?
See truth.
Is there times that that inner critic can come in and be a tyrant?
See truth.
Can that inner critic come in and be a hero?
See truth.
Would Cosmo still be Cosmo if that inner critic was completely healed and not there?
See truth.
Is that inner critic actually a superpower that you might not see sometimes?
See truth.
So could we say that the inner critic could create a trauma that could create a hero through it?
See truth.
Okay. That's our take.
Bro.
How do you feel? How do you feel after that?
That was amazing. What I felt was like, and experienced were like all these memories as you were going through these different questions, and it was like a rush kind of from my belly up through my heart into my head. But it was cool. It was like this real transfer of energy and getting that to flow. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but when you're in that mode, when what he's doing is like getting me to be in more of a subconscious mode, and I'm repeating the same thing over and over again. So that's, in my experience of this, creating that talisman to kind of hold that experience for me of that see truth. And now I can use that with other things too, right? Like I can take whatever else, and it's just a pattern. So this is like on your computer, if you're doing like clean my Mac or something, you're just running through the registry files, you're running through all the daily files that your computer goes through, and you're tossing them, so it's free again. So now you can write new programs or uninstall programs. But yeah, that was cool, man. I appreciate that.
What I loved about it, because I watched this interview in 2021 and I rewatched it today, just that segment today, because I'd sent it to a friend, so I had timestamps. And it caught me the see truth response, because the girl who does this trained with her therapist that was like some special guy for years, right? And she did Broadway or whatever acting. Like she's very skilled and very educated and done it a bunch. But that see truth answer, it's not a yes, it's not a no. And it brings the individual answering, because I played along. it brings the individual answer into this space that there's no judgment on it. There's no yes, I do this. There's no it doesn't. You can't lie to yourself after 2 or 3 questions.
Mhm.
So all you can do is say, see truth, and the reflection that you end up having becomes your truth in that scenario. And I think odds hit if they ask the right questions, not saying I did, but if the right person does ask the right questions,
Yeah.
you're gonna
No, you
gain
did, man.
perspectives, that you might not have seen on your own. Sometimes you need a
Mhm.
guide.
I mean, as an observer, I could probably write a lot of notes on every different way that Cosmo said see truth based off the question that you
Right.
aust. It was
Yeah.
every single one of them had a different meaning that could probably be decoded, and we could probably talk about, like once like we
Well,
solved the puzzle of like what that meant.
yeah.
Because some had like high inflections that suggested positivity. Some were just like very quick, like, oh yeah, I already know what I'm
Mhm.
supposed to see here, but it didn't mean that it was a positive note. It just you know exactly what's happening, whether that's good, bad, indifferent to you, whatever. But I could just tell that there was a lot of different meaning in each different saying, even though it was the same word, and that was kind of interesting just as a viewer.
Yeah. Well, it was weird for me too because I wanted to respond to everyone because everyone had like a meaningful experience or idea to it, but it like locks you out of that analytical mode and into the subconscious of just saying see truth. It's just like integrate, integrate, integrate. So it made me realize like how much I'm always responding to everything. Like in my daily life, children and relationships, my wife, everything, there's always a response, communication back and forth all the time, all the time. And this is just receiving and it's trying to see that truth in just like a brief moment, which was cool, man.
Yeah. So like when I watched it in the past, I was you, right? I was playing along as the audience, and it was powerful. And I was in my car. I remember it. I was driving home from
Yeah.
work. I was passing LSU campus, taking the back roads home, and I was bawling, crying. Aubrey Marcus's thing was, "I'm not good enough. Sometimes I feel like I'm not
Mm.
doing enough to be
Mhm.
of service to others." Right?
Yeah.
And when am I frozen? Am I good? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
I
You
can
just
hear you.
got frozen.
Okay, I don't know what happened. But if y'all can hear me, we're good.
We'll put the
So,
palms back up.
oh, my camera. It's probably the
Oh,
camera battery.
Mm.
palms up until he gets back. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll appease
be
the
right back.
crowd. I'm just kidding.
It's like crabs, Mr. Krabs.
Honestly, that's not a whole. Oh, that's bad. Now that
It's
wasn't a
okay.
bad shot of
Well,
him to
you're
be
back.
frozen on. Like
Yeah,
it could have been
that
way
was
worse.
serious bit. Yeah, it could have been like
Nonetheless,
you with the ray gun. You haven't bust that
Mhm.
out yet. Where that at, boy?
well,
You
the
got
thing
it.
is
It's a good segue.
everybody in the cannabis community they've been giving me crap because I have not cleaned this yet, and like
Oh,
that's
mm.
on me. You know what I mean?
how
Like,
you how you feel about that?
so like I have cleaned it, but the thing is like I haven't like scrubbed it. You know what I mean? And like, what are you gonna do? I don't care that much. They say, get your torch out and just like melt it all off before you hit it. And I'm like, but that's just like seasoning, right? And I guess
That
not.
doesn't hit. So what I was trying to
Yeah.
say, I'm sorry, I forgot to change my camera on the P break.
Mhm.
My camera battery. Today, I rewatched it a couple times, and I really focused on what she was doing. Not necessarily to memorize her questions, but to see what are you trying to do asking. And she took him on. The goal is to take him on like this, like really rapid shadow work ride where you're
Mm,
digging into, let me ask questions to make them aware of maybe some areas where this stems from, to put them in that
mm,
feeling of the anxiety of the problem, right? I want you to sit in and feel and have memories rush in of where this came from. And then I want to start poking holes into, why is it a problem? Is it really
yep.
a problem? Is it really something that supports you? Would you be what you are without it? And we end it with, you needed it all this time. You were kind of like getting turned on by it because it's a driver. Because even in, like, if we're talking like the kind of stuff we talk about here, right? Like everything serves its purpose with you. You might have come into this life saying, I need this problem. I need this thing I feel guilty about to drive me to achieve my goals. And if you can go through that, you're integrating it. You're making it a part of you. There's gratitude and love for this thing that 10 minutes ago was an issue. And you can really make a change going through that process. And that exercise allows you to do it so fast, right? Like it blew my mind when I really focused today on what was happening with it. I just wanted to share that aspect, right? Because like you can do this with your friend, you can do this with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend. Like you can, if you're vulnerable with them, even if you're not, bring it up. Like fuck all that. We're changing the world with this stuff. Like you can do this. You don't have to ask perfect questions or be an actor. Like, yeah, I love to improv. I love to be on stage and play music. I love to host a show. I talk too much because I like to be the center of attention because I'm a recovering narcissist, right? I can think fast. But anybody can do that shit. Anybody can do that shit, especially if it's someone you know. Got choice. You got power.
It's just about being authentic. And part of my journey I've realized is like you can't really grow until you're authentic with yourself, and you can't lie to yourself because your body knows if you're lying to it. You know, it usually manifests as disease, or you know, it manifests in ways that are not beneficial to you. So yeah, I think everything we've talked about tonight is like so powerful. It's a lot, I think, especially if you haven't seen it before, or heard about like trying to integrate archetypes and these belief systems, all these really abstract things. I think like Cosmic and I, and probably Brad too, the reason why we're into this is it's the creative aspects of trying to balance that like analytical mind, you know, like especially cannabis puts you in this mode of being in more of that creative and unconscious space to explore possibilities and just think about stuff in a non-analytical way, just in kind of an expressive and connected way, but in a different way, you know. So I don't know. I've really enjoyed this, and I want to try. So what is it called? The method that we just went through?
It's paradoxical something. I use the term paradoxical therapy tonight. I texted y'all that video. I don't know, we can share it somewhere or whatever, but it's an Aubrey Marcus one it's about like sex magic. It's a really cool like 2-hour thing. But at 29 minutes, she starts explaining it. Aubrey takes like 5 minutes to give his spill. There's an airplane. And then it's like a 15-minute segment. Like maybe I'll screenshot it or something and share it, and we can use that, you know, as something we're talking about on the show. But it's paradoxical something, and she learned it from her therapist, who's a renowned person for something I don't remember.
Come on now.
Nevertheless, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Something about cannabis though. It had to do with the creativity aspect of it, because like I think I want to say it. It doesn't make me creative. That's a. I don't want to say like you're gonna smoke weed and you're gonna all of a sudden have this creative talent that you never had before. Is if you've never been creative, artistic, or you've never had a bit of flow or understanding about what you're good at, you're not just gonna sit down and be like a great artist because you smoke some fucking pot. Like let's calm down here. But it does allow a free forming natural state where I don't have to overcomplicate things. I can just feel the energy, feel the emotion, and not really worry about the outcome. And just, as Cosmic likes to say all the time, you know, just the experience. But in reality, like I'm just enjoying the experience and seeing where I can go from there. If I can learn some things, cool. If I can remember them, even better. And then I can improve on them, you know, the next time. But usually when I'm smoking weed, that's not what I care about. I'm just caring about creating the energy and seeing where it goes from there.
It helps you, granted, because I smoked every day almost for 5 years when I was younger. And it does give you this like window to push past a limit, to push past a belief or a thought. So like I play a lot of music. I have a song, it's in my Google Docs. I saved it. It's called These Things. And I wrote the song and I played it. And I was like, man, this is really good. I like the lyrics. It's fun. It's a little upbeat. I do a lot of slow music. And I was like, bro, I'm about to get high as fuck. I'm about to get Lil Wayne so high you couldn't reach me with a freaking antenna. You know what I'm saying? One night I was so high I forgot how to read, and I'm gonna play harmonica with this like Bob Dylan. Had I played harmonica before? No. But I was in the key of E, and I grabbed the E harmonica, and I had my roommate had the little holster you put on your neck like Bob Dylan, and I put the E harmonica in, and I just did it. I performed the song, and I did solo spots where I played harmonica, and dude, it freaking slaps. It slaps. And it was because I was able to just feel the music and play. I wasn't like, "Whoa, how do you do this note? How do you do this chord? What do you do on harmonica? When do you breathe in? When do you breathe out?" Wasn't thinking. I was just doing. Like being in the zone with sports. It helps you get there.
Yeah,
I do.
it feels like an energy source, and of course it's a consciousness as well. Because usually if you smoke it like for me the concentrates, so it's like the oils, and we can talk about alchemy sometime, but the oil is the soul of the plant, and so that's what you're consuming. And so when that runs through your brain, when it runs through your system, you're connecting with that plant. So there is, to me, like a teacher in it, if you allow it to be. And it's interesting because I've experienced the same thing, Cosmic, as far as it like pushing or allowing you to push past your limits of your analytical mind, of your ego, of your daily routine, which shows up in our brain as running a different pathway. Like when THC is in your system, your neural pathways run differently. They actually run backwards, is what I've heard. The chemistry runs backwards, so it's like it's cleaning out your neurons because your receptors work one way during the day with serotonin and stuff, and THC will push it the other way. So it's cleaning out those systems. So it has all these really crazy properties, and it's but it is amazing as far as like I would use it with NFTs to be able to do like 12-hour sessions, to have like a concentration and a completely lose sense of time, to be able just to be immersed in what I was doing. And it's not like cannabis was doing the art for me. It was just allowing me to move past that inner critic, which I've done a lot of work with, especially with cannabis, to be able to be in that flow state. So it is what you make it too. Like we're talking about belief systems and how we experience reality, like how you treat cannabis, how you treat any medicine, like caffeine. Caffeine's just as powerful as cannabis. It's a psychedelic if you could use it that way. It all affects our systems, you know, in the same way that like Sean is talking about, you know, his experience with his pet, his squirrel, and that enrichedness of immersing his hands in the soil and having this fully immersive experience to encapsulate that moment to then hold on to, because that's what's special in life. I found, right, or those memories, like the big things in life, or whatever you make big, because you can make everything big if you want to. Like all those little things could be great if you just pay attention and hold on to it, you know. So yeah, I'll stop there.
No, I like it. It's beautiful. It's a good recap. I'm going to text Patrick tomorrow and see if maybe they're free next week, if they'll stay up late past their bedtime, because I am off. So, well, I'm working days, so I should be here, and maybe we can do shadow work, because they just did a shadow work live stream.
Yeah.
They've been doing them on the weekends in the afternoon. They've been phenomenal. I was at work. I was able to catch them. They've been really good on the Concrete Shaman channel on YouTube. Quick plug, because I love them.
Let's do some shadow work. Let's unpack some weird shit.
Teach people how to do it. I think that's the thing, right? Like most people, you say that and they don't know what the fuck that is.
No, they don't.
And I know there's some things that me and Patrick disagree on. I think forgiveness we disagree on, and that's going to be really good conversation.
What do you disagree on? Forgiveness?
Patrick,
possible?
No, Patrick and Merrick are recovering, however they want to phrase it, addicts, right? They're very open about that.
Sure.
And a big part of their process was forgiveness, whether it was, I'm not going to speak for them and say it was forgiveness for other people. I don't know, but I absolutely forgiveness with yourself. And just listening to them, because I haven't had this conversation, and they'll be cooking breakfast here and this and being like, Sean, that's not what I said. But just listening to them, I know forgiveness is a big part of things. And I am a firm believer that forgiveness is bullshit. You don't need others' forgiveness. You don't need to forgive others. You don't need your own forgiveness. You integrate the experience. Might be a similar thing, but to me, it's more about accepting that this
I was gonna
happened.
say, if you land on acceptance, I'll be like, all right, I get you.
Yeah, this is what happened. This is what I learned from it.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the experience. It's a part of me. I'm accepting the reality. It's a part of who I was in that moment, and it made me who I am now. And whatever issues Joe, Tommy, and Sally had with it, Joe, Tommy, and Sally have to deal with it.
Yeah.
If they want to talk to me, great, right? I'll be there. I will be there. I'll be a guide, or I'll be a listener, and they can be the guide, however the fuck that needs to play out. But that's their trauma to deal with. Even if I was the tyrant, right? Sometimes I have to be the tyrant in someone else's life for their trauma, for them to learn and grow. That's what I believe, right? That's a big thing that I believe, and I think there's a lot of strength in that for an individual that can adapt that and utilize that. It's not popular.
So, what do you think about investigators' question? Do you see forgiveness as a weakness that hinders the integration?
I wouldn't say a weakness, but I do think that I think forgiveness can become a cop out. I forgive you. I think that can be a little condescending. I think that can subconsciously implant the wrong thing into the future programming that you're building through the process.
Yeah.
Right?
It
not a
tears the
weakness.
relationship down, and now you're on a pedestal level where typically, like in a relationship, that's like the worst thing that you can do.
Settler
is,
and a reacher.
Yeah, you can't do that. You have to either be fully affirmed that like you've understood what happened, what took place, you've accepted it, you understood that if it happens again, there could be XYZ repercussions, but there cannot be any lingering fucking bullshit attached to it through forgiveness that like I forgave you, so now you have to act accordingly. No, that's
Right.
fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good with that. I feel
And
you.
Patrick and Merrick might agree. I kind of hope they strongly disagree and come on the show and we get to have that conversation for 10 or 15 minutes. Because I
Oh,
think it would be
well,
super
I say-
fruitful.
At this
That'd be
point, I
good.
fundamentally I'm on this stance here. Like, no, you know,
So they say their side.
Yeah.
Right? And because they're gonna say it in a way where you're gonna be like, oh shit, like I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna say, oh shit, I hadn't thought about it like that. And that's what's awesome. That's why I
and
hope they
I
disagree.
might say
you
some
know?
shit like, you know, only sorry people say sorry. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm gonna say. Just
Deep
motherfucker
breath.
come over here and be like, I'm sorry. I'll be like, I know.
I know.
I know.
We found that out when you made your decision that made you a sorry motherfucker, now didn't we? And
I can see it in my eyes, boy. Sorry ass little bitch.
sorry.
Well, Brad.
That's some old school shit though.
That's
That's
some
how I
Dale
grew
shit.
up.
I
That's-
like it.
Sorry, it's for little bitches now.
I'm gonna bottle this up until I get a heart attack. Fuck y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chris Farley.
And Vexicare nailed though. Don't be sorry. Be better.
That's right.
Oh, brutal. Say that to your child. Be better. Oh.
Fuck your apology.
Apology not accepted.
Oh.
Oh man. What a
That's
night.
one.
It's been a really cool show. You know, we might not have
Yeah.
700 people like we were before Christmas, but for the 10 people that were here tonight, this was a really fucking good show in my opinion. We had fun and there was some
Yeah.
super value in there.
I had a lot of fun. I felt
Did
good.
y'all? I'm gonna drop it because we're gonna put it in the air and we're gonna create the energy that it's real and it's gonna happen. I think we might have an interview in the future with the one and only Tiger King, the real Joe Exotic. Gonna get this in the works. Get this scheduled up. I'm hoping 2-3 months down the line we'll have this actually in preparation for a Tuesday show. I don't know if it'll be Tuesday night at this late. I don't know when the prison system fucking operates, but I do actually genuinely want to, you know, listen to his side of the story. I don't know how you guys feel about that whole fucking saga with the Tiger King, but after Carol Baskin sold her zoo for fucking millions of dollars, like, wait a minute. You got my boy Joe locked up and she over here wheeling and dealing and fucking over there on Epstein Island. I don't know if that last part's true, but
It might be.
nevertheless, it could be.
That's a
How would we
bold
know?
tease, Brad. That's a bold tease.
Yeah.
Has Joe ever even commented back on your ex post? Like, is there any realistic possibilities of this?
I mean, he told me to DM him for get the schedule and when the works. So
we might interview the Joe Exotic.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to come in with my redneck accent for the whole show?
I'm gonna get a tiger striped suit.
Hey there, boy. We're gonna talk about some things tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bobble my head.
We gotta be straight up. No homo and no meth for that episode. Can't do it.
Not even 10% of either.
Nope.
No.
I get along with gay men really well, so that might play to our advantage. I have a lot of male gay friends. Like a lot of
there it is. See, look.
And yeah. I'm glad you liked it back, because that would have been rude.
Right. But like, I didn't want to seem like
read. I'm gonna tease you, Joe. You ain't gonna financially recover from this non-reply.
Hey, look, Elon Musk has commented on my stuff before. Not like my posts, but like I've commented on Elon's and he's commented back. So look, I've been here before, Joe. Look, you ain't that cool. I'm just kidding. It was right before our show went live, and I'm gonna give it time so I can properly think over exactly what I want to say in the DM. But obviously, let's get down there. Let's hear what he has to say. Hear his side of the story after all his years in prison. Maybe he's a changed man. Maybe he's the same man. Maybe he's a better man. Maybe he's ready to apologize, and we have to forgive him or accept the things that he's done and just fucking move on. I don't know. We'll have to find out later on when that shit happens, but I'm excited for it.
Bruh, hold on now. What if there's a opportunity here, a window, to help him and people integrate all of that experience that they did? Because during COVID, we all watched it. And what if we could do paradoxical therapy with Joe?
That'd be cool.
He might really be able to gain something from that, and I'm sure everybody listening would be able to too.
I mean, honestly, I think everything is open, and except for the meth stuff, like I said before. Sadly,
I'm out on. Even when I did drugs all the time, I was out on meth.
That's always a hard no for me too.
Meth and heroin.
Heroin. I was gonna. Those are bad. Those are bad. And honestly, nowadays, it has to be said, everything. They're lacing this stuff with all that shit. So don't even. If you can't get it from a fucking locally grown source that is smokable like a plant, don't even fucking trust it. Fuck that shit.
I was talking about it with a partner the other day, and I was like, if I was, 18 to 23 now, I wouldn't do drugs like I did. Because I would literally be too scared I would die, because the drugs I didn't do are because I was scared they might kill me. Back then, like, there was a lot of things you could do and not fucking worry about at all. Didn't have to worry about, like, you might OD or whatever. You might do something stupid, hurt yourself. I don't know. But
you could do ecstasy back in the day and know that these were made with trusted chemicals from some fucking couple college kids who actually knew what they were doing, okay?
Before the damn FDA got involved in the illicit drug business, before they let doctors write prescriptions for fucking methamphetamines, that's when the drugs were good. That's when they were safe. Damn FDA. I hate the FDA. I don't like the government, but the FDA specifically. Elon made that post, do you trust the government now? And I said, honestly, no. Like, I didn't then. I still don't. Like,
I mean,
no offense.
The FDA, they had a good, 1940, 1950? Like, we needed them when they were poisoning fucking foods. Like, there's a little bit, but like after that, like, we should have been like, hey, get out.
Who the fuck approved? Oh, you can be over pharmaceuticals and over the food people eat. Yeah, that's logical. That makes sense. Some fucking nerd. All
on the
right.
nose.
Cosmo, you got anything? It's 11.
I'm good, man. I'm just I'm glowing from that experience. That was cool.
I'm glad we got to
Appreciate
do it. I'm glad it went
Yeah.
well because it could have bombed. Like, I just zoned in. Like, look, I don't channel the Galactic Federation, but I 100% believe that I channel information in moments. I've had too many moments where I don't know what the fuck I'm saying and things come out that matter. And I think someone was involved, someone, something, whatever, in that moment because it went really well. It was helpful for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I feel it, man.
People, they
Right.
like palms. People like palms.
Everybody likes palms.
I've heard that the crown chakra
If there was
goes
one
through
takeaway,
over the head and it goes through your palms, and that's why back in the day, that's why there's this. Saul Williams. Oh, the Saul Williams poem when he does all the hands in the air. Holy shit, it's real. So good. Not tonight, though. Maybe not tonight. Maybe not tonight. Brad, you got anything?
I have smoked a lot of marijuana.
Yeah.
I've smoked a few joints. I'm pretty high. But honestly, this was a good show, I think. I don't know. And if it wasn't, our bad. I'm not going to apologize for it because that's the takeaway, right? You don't need to forgive it. Just accept it. You know, it happened. And you can either make a choice to tune in again next week and see if it's shitty again, or it could be fucking great. It could have more palms. It could have less palms. And I guess
got the harmonica song. I might play that over the phone, over the microphone. I can do all that because I got equipment. You never know. You never know what's going to happen.
With the soundboard, too.
Yeah, I could hit play right now, and y'all got to listen to it, and I'll ruin the whole show. I could do it. I'm threatening.
You know, one of these days, I'm going to have a studio set up at the garden, the pollinator garden, where Investigator, the producers over there at. And maybe we'll have, like, some fucking cool, fancy shit with you. So, like, you'll have a soundboard, like, Investigator can have his piano, and, like, he'll be like, and, like,
plays piano?
Yeah, he plays piano, but, like, he just doesn't play it enough. I don't know what you can do with a piano, but, like, we'll get there, guys.
I play piano. I posted the country song covering
I play with my dingling.
I heard you cover it. It was inexperienced.
We're actually going to rebuff that. I got to get the dingles to ling a little bit less in the music, make it a little bit more harmony, make it flow better, and make a proper cover for my dingling. But that's all I have, guys.
Bro, Joe Exotic's going to see this show and be like, that's the professional kind of shit I want to be on.
This is the show that's going to get straight to the answers and have fun with it. Yes.
They don't know yet.
We're going to go somewhere.
Next level.
All right. I love y'all. To anyone who is here at any moment, thank you. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for any shares, any likes. Thank you for any questions. Thank you for being here and being a part of our adventure as we open up to who we are to y'all, and y'all get to be a part of us. And I'm making it weird, but like sincerely,
you get to be in us, and we get to be in you.
We're in each other, and I love you. Yeah, please, before me and Brad keep talking, let's bring on the credits.
We came up from the bottom, now we top tier. Brendo and Cashman, everyone give a cheer. Higher values in the game, we're the pioneers. Speaking loud, raising high, forget all the fear. This is the moment, we let the world know. Values that matter, let the truth flow. Brendo and Cashman, we rise and we thrive. With higher values, we keep the vibe alive. To the truth, let the wisdom arrive. In the heart of the South, watch our dreams collide. Every episode hitting like we just dropped heat. From the streets to the booth, hear the rhythm and beat. Discussions ignite, in the zone we compete. Connecting with the fan, feel that community heat. We keep it real, never play pretend. This journey of ours will never end. Brando and Cashman, we rise and we thrive. With higher values, we keep the vibe alive. Tune into the truth, let the wisdom arrive. In the heart of the South, watch our dreams collide. Every episode hitting like we just dropped heat. From the streets to the booth, hear the rhythm and beat. Discussions ignite, in the soul we compete. Connecting with the fan, feel that community heat. We keep it real, never play pretend. This journey of ours will never end. From the mic to the world, we uplift and inspire. Thanks for riding with us, let's take it higher.
Okay, so strap in, strap on. We're getting ready to go past moon, straight to Uranus.